This is Okun of the Week. I'm your host, Victoria Yahaya Okpale. This week, Okun of the Week is a unique one, as we are in the residence of the People's General, General David Jemibewon. Please stay tuned as we hook up with the General. Thank you. Good morning, man. Good morning. The General is around.
No, he's around.
Okay, this is our mommy. This is our mommy, Chief Mrs. Jemibewon, and her. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Introduce her to us.
Chief Deaconess Alice Awopetu.
Oh, that's good. Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having us. So we'll go to the program now. We'll have program in the General. Thank you very much. Okay. This is Okun of the Week, a program designed to bring to you the high-profile personalities of Okun sons and daughters who have done well in various fields of life. And today on Okun of the Week, I have the rare privilege to bring to you the People's General, General David Jemibewon. General, you're welcome on the program.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us despite your busy schedule, granting us your audience. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
So I'm your host, Victoria Yahaya Okpale. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned and enjoy as we get to know more about General David Jemibewon. So who is General David Jemibewon?
Anyway, at a certain point, my name is David Megaisi Jemibewon. Presently, I'm a little over 80.
Wow.
I come from this environment, from Ijakwede in the local government.
Okay.
And I'm a retired soldier.
Wow.
A retired general of the Nigerian Army. I don't know whether you know more than this. So I think, and then I've had opportunity of holding some positions in government in this country, and so few people know me. I think that's all.
Okay, thank you very much. So can you tell us about your family life, the lineage you came from in this environment?
Yes, my dad was Chief Peter Jemibewon of late memory.
Okay.
My mom is Mife Jemibewon, equally of late memory. And between my mom and my dad, I think we have 4 or 5. I think we have 5.
Okay.
But unfortunately, we have been unfortunate that it's only me today that is left out of the 5 children. And I happen to be the first. The last died, I think, early this year. So that is it.
Okay, that's a good one. So, General, please tell us about your educational background now. Where you started from primary.
Of course, I started school in my village. No, really in Botu, in present day Niger Delta.
Wow.
My uncle, the immediate junior brother of my dad, worked for UAC. And that gave me that privilege. He was kind enough, he took me along at one time. And I started schooling there. But I didn't go to school for more than few months, I think. And I was said to be very sick. So he brought me back home. And when I became well, it will appear that my dad wasn't too enthusiastic in sending me back to school. Why, I wouldn't know, but they probably knew better. But a lot of people spoke to him, including the headmaster of the school then, called Mr. Fagbemi from Ikeriade, which is also in the Jumo local government. That is the last settlement on the axis of Kaba and Omo. Or Kaba and Omo, yes, I'm correct. And I think the question was my education, is it? But they managed to convince my dad, and I think he did a rethink. And so for record purposes, it will be correct to say I started primary school in July 1949.
Wow.
And then from there, of course, there were only few schools around here at that time. And not many schools had classes above primary 4. And so around here, it was only IE to cover Mopa that you could get primary, something above primary 4. I think what happened was, by the time we got to primary 4 and we had to go to primary 5, they had to look for schools that we could continue higher education on. And so actually Ayetoro started primary 6, or after he started primary 5 in 1952. And so those students in schools in the surrounding or around here had to fight for the limited space at Ayetoro. So of course, this is how I came to Ayetoro. In fact, almost the entire class from Yagwede and few people from other places. Ayegole there, Ayetoro itself, and so on. And few who didn't have opportunity found their way to Mopa and other places like Kaba. So this is how it went. So I transferred to Ayetoro in primary 5, and did primary 5, primary 6 before I left primary school for secondary school.
Okay.
And for secondary school, I went off at grammar school, 1955 to 1959.
So after the upper primary, secondary school now, which
After grammar school, I tried to get employed, and I worked in few offices in other Nigeria, because we were working, the government was running regional government.
Okay.
So I worked in few places in Kaduna. And then from Kaduna, I joined the army.
Wow.
In fact, I was at Lokoja when I wrote the exam, and I joined the army.
Wow. The journey so far in the army?
Oh, it's interesting. I thank God. Not all of us who started our life today, so I must be grateful to Almighty God. And the army is a good profession, I want to believe. It is very adventurous for young people, and I have no regret. I have gratitude to express to the Almighty God and to some individuals who give support and encouragement. So yeah, I'm a retired general.
There's a part I want to hear about the occupational life. The fact that you
About
became a
what?
military governor.
Oh, that's a long story.
I want to hear it. That's what
No, I'm not saying it's not right.
Okay.
But what I'm saying that is a long story.
Okay.
It's something that has to be, because you are trying to be progressive.
Okay.
Yes, that's a long one. But anyway, as we go ahead, maybe you'll get all that you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that.
But if you particularly want that, I joined the army.
Okay.
I rose from the rank of second lieutenant to general. And in the process of my military career, I held some position. I rose from second lieutenant to general. And in the process, you become captain, major, lieutenant colonel, and so on. This is about all, and in the process, because rank is generally not necessarily the same as appointment.
Okay.
There was a time that I was in Army headquarters, but I retired from the position of what called Adjutant General of the Nigerian Army. And what is Adjutant General? He's in charge of discipline, so many aspects of the military, but principally in the administrative. He heads the administrative section and promotion. Education, that is education of officers and members of their family, because the army is organized that if you join the army, even as an illiterate, if you are a very serious person, before you leave, you could have your certificate, either primary 6 or even beyond. So he's also in charge of ceremony. No, don't let me waste your time. Let me leave.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. So let's get to Jemibewon International Academy now. What motivated you into bringing such an international academy to this environment?
I think that is a very good question, and I would have wished we get a better time and conducive atmosphere to go into details. But let's make attempt of the time we have now. I'm from here, and you see it. Even many years after I have left school, I have left the army, you yourself could see the environment here. There's nothing we have to show in relation to development. And I just told you how I started school. There were no roads, no water, no electricity, no development of any kind. Virtually all the schools here, at that time, at the beginning, were mainly by the people. They call any schools as native authority. And the people in their various settlements made the effort to lift themselves and the society up by making financial contribution to build schools so that their community will be enlightened and educated. Even up to today, there's not much presence of government in terms of education, health, and other development. So I don't know for that, but for me, right at that early age, I had in mind some things that I would like to be involved in if I was successful. And God has helped in many ways. I think I want to believe that I'm reasonably successful. And this is why I just felt one area I think I can be of great advantage to children today and their parents, and children yet to be born, is education. Education. However difficult a person, or whatever the nature of the difficulty a person faces, or the difficulty he might face, if he's well educated and can think logically, he will find a way to get out of trouble. And so my mind just felt that the only area I think I can help is education. And so I started thinking, and not only that, even if I have money, it has to be something that should be beneficial to the people, and I ought to be involved in. Otherwise, what can one really do here to have money? That's nothing. It is agriculture. How much can you do? So, effort to be of some assistance to my people where they expected development, but development is not coming as they would have wished, was one of the reasons that took my mind there. What are children who go to Lagos, or Kaduna, to Kano, to Port Harcourt, what they see in those places? There's no reason they can't see a miniature of those things here. So anyway, maybe let me come there.
That's very good. Education truly is the best legacy. So now get to family background now. So how did you meet your beautiful wife to start a family?
Anyway, like I told you much earlier, at the marriage, I have children, beautiful children, intelligent children. Some of them, two are already parents.
Wow.
Then unfortunately, a few years ago, I lost my wife. So, in answering your question on it is important you have an idea of his background.
Yes.
But my wife that you know, well, that met us together here, I met her when I was the governor in Nevada.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have one child. Okay. Although we were just friends, having children at that time was not the main objective, really. So, but I have to answer your question.
Okay, yes.
So, we have one daughter, and that daughter, just a few months ago, had a son. Okay, so I met her, to answer your question specifically. I met her at Ibadan when she was in the University of Ibadan, and I was the governor of Western States. From, like I said, from my first marriage, my children are grown up.
Okay.
In fact, they all have their own children.
Wow.
And my relationship with my children is wonderful.
Wow.
Not because they are just my children. It's the disappointment, I would say so. I consult them in most things I do, not everything, but in most things I do. and I listen to their advice. And sometimes when they talk, I feel very proud of them. So I pray not to disappoint them. And if I want to do something, I discuss with them. If they are against any aspect, I try to rethink again. So they're doing well. And my present madam, we have just one daughter. She too is doing wonderfully well. Is in Britain now. Is married to a soldier in Britain.
Wow.
Although interestingly, I mean that's the aspect I found as interesting. They met in Nigeria. Okay, as a result of this insecurity, those soldiers that were sent here to help Nigeria. So that is it. I have a family that I'm happy with. They are progressive, enlightened, and they're supportive. There are certain areas we may disagree, but on the whole, I am very proud of them. And sometimes when we discuss, they express also some pleasure with me. They also express displeasure in certain areas.
That's good. We disagree to agree. Exactly. And to arrive at the best conclusion. That's the best thing. Yeah. So we're talking about family life now. So we want you to tell us about yourself and how the family life has been.
Well, my name is Jemibewon. I'm the wife of Jemibewon. To the glory of God, it has been a very pleasant journey. There is no smooth road in anything in life. Even in relationships like I had with my husband, it has been a road full of ups and downs. But the level path is the most interesting of it all. So we have been able to say thank you to Jesus for an enabling relationship that has brought much success, that has seen God's blessing. My husband happened to be a very cerebral person who loves his family genuinely. To him, family comes first. And the care of his children, the love extended to his children is something that people should emulate. Usually, I refer to him as Abiyamo. My husband is more an Abiyamo than I.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Wow.
I can go on and on, but I just thank God for meeting this person, this man, who has encouraged me and allowed me to develop myself. Even in business, it has been a blessing because he has been very supportive. So I had no choice but to support all his enterprises and his family. People see soldiers as tough people and tough men, you know. But I tell you, behind the mind of any soldier is a very affectionate soul. What people see is a facade. It's when you are able to break through that facade, you realize that these men of the boot are a special breed.
Wow. Wow. That's an impressive one. Daddy, you are so blessed. In fact, I'm even getting jealous. A man being an Abiyamo. That's a great one. So it's a wonderful family. So does Daddy have a favorite food?
Food. He is very liberal when it comes to feeding. As long as he is hungry,
Wow.
whatever you present before him, let me tell you, and I say it with that sense of humility, I am lucky
Okay.
in that aspect.
Okay.
My husband is not fastidious
Wow.
about I must eat this. In fact, there are times we give him too much food. He doesn't even eat a quarter. He has a habit. If I give him 2 wraps of pounded yam, he will eat one. And we say, I will leave the rest for me.
You should come and eat it.
Yes, that is for Mama Lola. But you see, these are attributes that I think was cultured into him by his mother.
Wow.
His mother, of blessed memory, was a good woman.
Wow.
A woman that brought up his children in genuine love, which she extended to people like me. A lot of my friends, they ask me, what are you doing in that jungle? And I tell them, that jungle is my own Jerusalem.
Wow.
It is true. The tremendous nurture that I got from his mother I'm eternally grateful for it.
Wow.
She didn't discriminate. She didn't say you are not from this area. You know, she accepted me, assets and liabilities.
Wow. That's very impressive.
I mean, with all sense of humility, I'm a lucky person.
You are really blessed. You are really blessed. So, Daddy, what's your best color now? Let's come to Daddy. Your best color. Best color.
Color?
Yes, sir.
Blue.
Blue.
Blue?
Yes.
And blue means serenity, means peace.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Do you have favorite music?
No.
No. No favorite.
Except the music of the Juju Festival in my village.
Yes.
Wonderful.
But he listens a lot to Ebenezer Obey.
Okay.
Yes.
You like Ebenezer
Obey is his master when it comes to music.
Does Daddy have a hobby?
Plenty of hobby.
What's his favorite?
I mean, you can see this compound. Yes. You can see this compound.
Yes, sir.
What do you think his hobby would be?
This great vegetation. Is it farming?
Agriculture.
The great vegetation.
And he was a good sports person.
Wow.
A good squash player.
Wow.
In his younger days.
Wow. No wonder Daddy is this fit.
That is it.
So what makes Daddy so fit like this and strong like this?
Because he has peace of God in him.
Okay.
He has peace of God in him. And I want to be like him.
Wow.
He will tell you if anything happens to him. He's owing nobody.
Wow.
He's not indebted to anybody.
Wow.
We should be rest assured.
Wow.
He doesn't spend. If I had to, I really have to start emulating him.
Wow.
I'm a spendthrift. I spend. My husband is a very cautious spender.
Wow.
But you see, he doesn't gladden fools.
Wow.
He says it as it is.
Yes.
Which most people misunderstand in these climes.
Okay.
It tells us that it is. He's a politician because he dabbled into politics for the benefit of his people. But he's not a politician per se. Because he doesn't know how to tell lies.
Wow. Even
if it is bitter, he will tell you what it is.
Wow.
You either take it or leave it.
Wow.
Know? But General Jemibewon of humble beginnings of where we are sitting, God has endowed him to reach the sky, That's all I can say. Even the founding of this school is a testimony, a testament to the people of this area. Because he said it, how can he impact the future? The best way you can impact the future is education, which is what made them to be known. Even even in the old northern Nigeria, that this part of Nigeria was capped into, education made them who they are.
Exactly.
And we cannot afford to leave everything to government, because government can no longer even afford it. So people like him, people ask us, why did you spend your money to put something in this place, whereas you can put it in Abuja or Lagos and we'll be using basket to carry money? He said, no, money is not everything. I came from here. I should leave something for them. Wow. I should be able to impact the lives of future generation, that they will know if David Medayeshi Jemibewon rose from this place. So the future can be established for the children of this locality. And you saw what happened?
Yeah, so great.
On graduation day. Most of those children are from Kogi State. Although we have students from 14 states, but the core, you even saw the parents. Yes. If we had done this in Abuja, I probably would have been crossing my legs every time to take millions to the bank. But that is not my husband. It's an investment into the future. It is an eternal gratitude.
So let's go to Daddy now to tell us about the Nigeria of nowadays and Nigeria of those days, and how all we can do to move forward as a nation.
Anyway, thank you very much. I'm here. I'm happy that she's here, because she seems to understand the political situation, development, history about education, and so on, more than I do.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Those.
What a good combination. I love this combination. Wow, wow, wow.
So, I'm happy she's here. So, okay. Most of the questions you'll be asking, except those that are specifically for me, she will give the answer.
Okay.
And I'm sure she will be equal to the task.
Okay, so Mommy will tell us about Nigeria of the past and this new one as a nation.
Where do we begin? We lost it all. We have lost it all. In my journey, in my lifetime, I'm a product of 2 teachers. Wow. So my premises of saying we lost it all. I knew what it was. I went to a free primary school in the Western region.
Wow.
My husband's generation, they paid to have education.
Okay.
He was in Offa Grammar School, all the way from here.
Exactly.
And it's the story of everybody around here. And I tell people, there is even Yahoo in primary school. How far low can we go? See the state of education, higher education. In my days, if I took my certificate to anywhere in the world from University of Ibadan, it's accepted. It is highly rated. There was a time we were looking for teachers. About 25 people arrived. I didn't find any suitable graduate I could employ. Wow. It's a tragedy. As big and as vast as America is, education is still primus, you know. You understand what I mean? Yes, anytime they are finishing, the children finishing a class in America, they are known all over America. It is a system that works and has been kept to work. Look at the principal of primary schools in America are PhD holders. Have you ever heard anywhere in the world, not to even mention China, that they will close federal universities? because teachers are paid less than counselors. What did Western Nigeria have? Only cocoa, and Awolowo was able to do free primary education. As a student in UI, I had bursary. Can any of these children boast of what we had? Look at the insecurity. The population here is what it is in this school because people are afraid to even send their words beyond their domain. And it's the same all over Nigeria. I am a Catholic. I cannot believe that priests are killed wantonly. Policemen are slaughtered. Not to talk of soldiers that are slaughtered like flies. And we're all pretending that I used to tell my husband, this is peace of the graveyard. And this is how revolutions begin. You see what happened in Sri Lanka. Don't think it cannot happen here. When people are pushed to the wall, the only alternative is to face you, charge on. Is it in politics? I told my husband he's not a politician, but he went into politics to see how they can salvage the situation. There are like people from here that I know all over Nigeria in those days, people like Bello Ejumu. We didn't even know what it was until later we discovered this. There was a Sunday Awuni who worked directly with the head of the government, the premier of Northern Region. It is based on solid foundation, and we are now building solid foundation for the future. A nation where primary school teachers are not paid, where teachers had to abandon teaching to go and look for what to eat. It wasn't like that in our time, and it's not too far back. What I know is this: the more this country moved away from colonialism, the worse we are. We try to blame the past. What of us? How do we redress the situation? Just take every aspect of the life. I go to market and I just wonder what people eat. And if you ask them, they will say it is dollar. And do I blame them? Because anyway, I'm not criticizing, but I'm saying the truth as it is affecting you and I and the future of these ones.
So what's the way forward now?
Leadership. A nation that doesn't have the leadership it needs continues to falter. Look at Ghana, that used to take refuge here. Do you know how many Nigerian children are in Ghana reading? Do you know?
So many now.
Yes. So that is the position. So it is leadership. There is somebody maybe in Malaysia or Singapore. He was 92. When he took over the running of Singapore.
Wow.
Today is a different story for Singaporeans. 92-year-old man.
Wow.
Who had a vision and know how to execute the vision. We had leaders that they should not even be leaders. Right from the local government level.
Wow.
We don't put in our best 11. That is the situation. A nation gets what it wants. Wow. If this country decide now, if all states decide now, like we had in the olden days, to put the best forward to lead this country, it will be like a minor revolution.
Wow.
If we stop taking PTNs to make us suffer, if people stop buying position of leadership, if we allow genuine leaders to emerge, that is the only salvation for this country. That is it.
God have mercy on us. Mommy is really a great asset. I now see the great combination. Thank you very much, Mommy. This has been a very in-depth explanation on the way forward. We pray our leaders will hear, and we pray God will grant us the way forward. So, Daddy, what's your advice to the general public now on this program? To Nigerians, to Okun people, to these people here at Iyagbe.
Anyway, whatever advice I give here,
Okay.
I want to believe that it will be applicable to every corner
This country.
of the country. It's so difficult in a confused situation like the one we are to be very specific on a particular point of advice. However, I think what should happen is we should remember how or where we are coming from. If a man is going to somewhere and he gets to a point where he's confused, it's either he tries to look to stop where he is, identify where he is, how he got there, and through that to see what errors have been made, what he has achieved, and then from there take a new step or steps. So it depends on who you ask and what angle he looks at. I think, like I said, looking specifically on how did we get to where we are. If we think we got there and we're happy, then we need to do what we have been doing that makes us happy. And of course, if we believe that we are not doing well and find out why we are not doing well and decide to discard the process of our not doing well, then hopefully we will gradually improve. And this is why I said it's so difficult to give a pinpoint answer. It depends on the individuals you are discussing with and what the issues you are discussing at that particular time. But sometimes when I sit down and I think, I just believe that there are some good things that our parents or those before us were doing before, which cumulatively act together to improve the society, which we have abandoned. I talk of, they look basic, but they are important. The small things or the things we consider small are extremely important. I talk about scouting,
Boys Brigade.
Boys Brigade, Guard Guide, and so on. Clubs in schools where students are arranged into clubs and so on. In addition to games and sports that the schools are involved in, and inter-house sports, inter-school sports, they engender friendship, some of which last lifelong. And in the process, you learn something about your fellow students or friends, and that's meant interpersonal relationship. So I think going back to those things, would be of some help. There are other ways, but you see, when government gets involved in projects, we go to the gigantic projects. But these are basic things that's of great value. So it's difficult to say this is the way you have to start. But if you look at it very well, like ourselves, myself, the principal just come in, you find that some friendship you make are those that you develop in secondary schools. Okay?
Yes, sir.
But where these things don't take place or don't exist anymore, you can't develop something upon nothing. So I think we need to go back
To the beginning.
to the, to those things that made us look good, make us successful. Take away those reasonable aspects of our approach and apply it to present situation.
That's a very good one. Thank you very much, General. Thanks for having us, and it has been a comprehensive one. At least from this program, so one can decide to sit down, evaluate, and know the way forward for this country. And it's been a pleasure and privilege to meet today. We'll be discussing with the People's General, General Jemibewon, and the wife, an asset to this country, Chief Mrs. Modukwe Jemibewon. Mommy, you are a real good asset. Nice of you to have us today. It has been a privilege. We thank you so much. This is Omoko of the Week. Thank you for watching and have a very good day.